Well, welcome back, everyone. My name's John, and I'm with my good buddy Steve, and welcome to TalkdaTalk. We finally got the gang back together, and it's an awesome thing. We are so excited that you are joining with us here on TalkdaTalk. Just so you know, we now have a new website. It's TalkdaTalk podcast, so go there and look at it. And we also are on YouTube and Facebook at TalkdaTalk with a D. TalkdaTalk. We're back.
No spaces, correct?
No spaces, except between my head. But anyway, we are back with my good buddy Steve, who had a little bit of a break, not a break that we wanted. And we wanted to dedicate this early section to give Stevie a little chance to catch up where he's been and what's been going on. And you can see the beautiful picture behind us. So, Steve, what's been going on, man? We're glad you're back, brother.
Good to be back talking with y'all. Been tough. My sister, Mary Beth, passed away a week and a half ago. You can see her behind. That was, I think, her 10,000th photo bomb of her life. She was just a wonderful, wonderful sister, human being. One of the most joyful people I've ever met. At the funeral and at the wake, the number of stories I heard, none of them surprised me. The way she helped people, loved people. And all of that came from her faith in God. As your buddy Tony said at the funeral service, the celebration of life, he got up in front of the mic and said, let's be honest, it's not like Mary never pissed any of us off. And, I had more than a couple arguments with my sister, disagreed about this or that. And I'd do anything after this podcast, I could just sit down and have her berate me again because I miss it so much. Just a wonderful human being, great family. I know you've known her a little bit over the last years, and it was shocking. The last 4 years, I lost both my parents, which was very painful. But we kind of knew it was coming. My sister went to sleep and woke up in the arms of Jesus. So,
if I can jump in here, I was fortunate to get to go, and I could not believe my eye when I walked in the front door of the church and just saw, it was just so people understand, there was an hour and a half wait to get to see her up front of the church. And there was you and the family standing up there. And my first thought, Steve, was somebody, I sort of feel this way about you too. Like, she loved loud. I went up to you and go, man, I don't even have this many people that hate me. It was an hour and a half wait to get in line and get to the front where you could, say your farewells. And we know we will see her again, but she loved loud, she loved big, and sometimes people don't like big in the moment. But when you look at the pictures and the people that she infected and affected and loved, and what was truly a celebration. So I'm glad you're back.
Yeah,
no way to get over that, but no. And it's hard to move on. But we have the memory of all that she did and all those people that she, in fact, included your beautiful daughters.
Yeah, and niece. I just, for those out there, who put your hands in the air, I'm blanking on Bono, what he said. But,
say it like you just don't care?
No, not that. If you're the praying kind, turn this podcast into prayer.
Yeah.
Remember my sister's family. They're going through a rough time, and just, think about her. Think about somebody who loved life and took advantage of every moment she was given. Just, remember my family, and
absolutely,
like you said, we know where she's going to be.
I think
she is.
I think the great news of the gospel is, part of the great news of the gospel is, at the end of the day, all we do as humans submit our deaths. But Jesus said, I'm the resurrection and the life. And he is the way, the truth, and the life. And because of what he's done on his behalf, we will get to hear her loudness again. Who knows, knowing her, if she's helping Jesus, it's going to be big.
Well, she's already photobombed him like 10 times.
Right.
I guarantee it.
And stole his sandals. But
I don't know what that joke
well,
was.
she always had. I got to see her at the store because we do
okay.
a shoe store. So I got to see her at the store, and she's always had some feet issues going. So now she's walking with Jesus in those footsteps.
Those pains are all gone, buddy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
She doesn't need the shoes with the 4-inch
Yeah,
heels
this
anymore.
Isn't, this isn't the thing where we like enter with 200 virgins or whatever. Like, we're gonna get to be with our Creator and with each other and those who put their faith in Him, and that is the beauty of what she believed and how many people she told. And so, while I'm gonna miss her, I know we're gonna see your mom and dad, my dad, and her again. So,
Absolutely.
all right. I'm glad you're back, buddy. I missed you, man. I sucked without you.
That's why all the trees in Indiana point towards Crown Point. I think.
Because I suck. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Speaking of Indiana.
Should we go to our top stories?
Yeah. We kind of were.
There we go.
Wrong one.
Oh, hey, let's leave it to me to screw it up right when you get back. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we were talking about doing this, a couple weeks ago, and obviously, life got in the way. But as many people know, March Madness has made Indiana home.
Yes, it has.
Last week, the NCAA men's tournament started. We got a photo
of the NCAA?
The icon.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Hey, there he is.
There it is, brother.
Can we get some music to go along with
dude.
this?
So, welcome all you people who are not from here. So I'm just thinking like all those that are from Colorado or Florida.
California,
Maryland.
Welcome to Indiana. Our gas stations sell alcohol and pizza. One-stop shopping. Woo!
Yeah, man, you go to Fetla's and live. No, I'm not saying Hoosier basketball players are dumb, but the coach is dressing 6 players for this Saturday's game, and the rest are dressing themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Indiana doesn't have a coach. They fired him. He sucked. Archie Miller. He's terrible. Bring back Bobby Knight. They can get a red and white wheelchair.
Yeah.
He'd throw it at someone too.
I think Trump should go on his behalf over to Indiana or IU, and I'm sure they'll open him with warm and cuddly arms.
I doubt it. Yeah. So anyway, for those who are kind of shocked by our home state, gonna ask our top 5 questions. Keep the music going, buddy.
Oh, I'm keeping it up. I just turned it down. So
okay.
Annoying.
Boy, I need my glasses. I'm getting old.
Yeah, so we thought, like if you follow the podcast the last couple of weeks, it's much better with Steve here, but we're going to do a couple jokes, top 5 jokes of those who would be coming into Indiana from out of state for the tournament.
Can I do the first one?
You absolutely can.
All right. Why couldn't the baby Jesus be born in Indiana?
I do not know this because I'm from out of state.
No, you're not. You're a Hoosier.
Okay.
Because they couldn't find 3 wise men or a virgin in Indiana.
Hey, come on. All right, let me throw one at you, okay? Here's the top 5 jokes right off the bat. Number 4 is, what's the definition of safe sex up here in Indiana? And that would be placing signs on the animals that kick.
Oh, that doesn't happen all the places in Indiana.
No, I never felt the kick. Just saying. Oh, woo.
Where's my juice heart? All righty.
If you got your spoons at home, clap along.
Why do Indiana students have TGIF on their shoes?
I do not know.
Toes go in first.
We all need directions. You know how it is. Hey, and this is something that's going to be familiar if you're from Illinois. Why do all the trees in Illinois lean to the east? Because Indiana sucks.
Woohoo!
Let's go to the mall for the 400th time.
We got a lot of pride. Yes, sir.
Come on.
Oh, Indiana sucks. I've lived here most of my life.
All right, let me give you a little drum roll with this music. This is the number one. Number 1, Steve. Bring us home, baby.
All right. What does a girl from Indiana do if she's not in bed by 10?
I have no idea, y'all.
She goes home.
Hell, hell, we've lived that dream. Come on.
I haven't.
All right.
I haven't. I'll show my love resume. That never happened to me.
That's hilarious, man. Well, if you're coming from out of state, welcome to Indiana. At least you're down in Indy, where there are some fun things to do.
Yeah, they all close at like 6 p.m. I mean, I lived down there for 4 years.
I just got back from down there. Yeah,
you go cover a game and then want to go get a pizza and a Kool-Aid. Everything's closed.
Kool-Aid? Did you say Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid.
I think you're on the Kool-Aid to say you got a Kool-Aid, homie.
That was a long time ago, but yeah, banjos.
Well, speaking of this Indiana tournament, let me bring up the bracket here, Steve, because you are one of those guys that have followed this and obviously are a big fan of the tournament. Always have been.
Love it.
So if, by the way, I'll say it again, if you're not just listening to the podcast, you can now do so on the Podbean app. We are upgraded. I didn't even tell Steve. I upgraded the whole thing. Our website is out there. You can see that. But you can also see us and all the pictures and us dancing to the, ding-ding-ding-ding at YouTube and Facebook. So here we are. We got Stevie talking about no better commentary than you're going to get here with old Steve Hanlon. And we're down to the Sweet 16, and I'm just going to start off saying, like, Steve told me this morning, and I don't know how I missed this, but Oral Roberts is going to play Arkansas.
Can you play the banjo music again?
I can. Bring it on.
They're from Oklahoma.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, before we get into NCAA basketball, I want to give a shout out to Couts, boys basketball team. They'll be playing in the Class A state tournament this weekend.
I did see that. Now, how'd they pull that off?
Well, I covered them, and I saw that program growing. They were really good last year, and they lost to 21st Century, where I was
I remember
teaching. And it's a public school. They don't have athletes coming in from all over to play for them.
Yeah.
So it's a little more difficult for schools like that.
They're not a big school, right?
No, it's tiny. So, but
do they still do Division A?
Yeah, they're Class A. I think they have 13 kids in their school.
No kidding. And
It's
five
more-
of them are on the team. Yeah,
it's
five
more
of them
than
are on the
that.
team.
It's more
Well,
than
I mean,
that.
my buddy Daryl from industry, he had 6. He graduated with 8, and he had 6 people on his basketball team, so he got a lot of playing time.
He went to
Industry,
Milan?
Illinois. Industry, Illinois. No. So when I played baseball back in the day, Couts was small. Matter of fact, I've been here my whole life. I could not even tell you where Couts is at.
It's south of Valpo.
This is
Honestly,
what makes
there's
Indiana basketball amazing.
it's the best. It is absolutely
What was
the
that?
best.
Hoosiers, man. It makes me want to go see Hoosiers, the movie again.
Yeah, there's a lady in Couts who's about to give birth to triplets, and if she does, they're going to move up to 2A.
Oh my
So
God.
that's how small they is.
You know. Okay.
Yeah, but hopefully the rest of the country is enjoying Indiana. The Sweet 16 will be happening this weekend in our beloved state. I will say this. Good thing the NCAA didn't pick New York, Massachusetts, or California to host.
Yeah.
Because Oral Roberts or Loyola wouldn't have been allowed to play because they're schools of faith.
Yes.
Haters, get out of here. You can't play.
And what was the other one? Oral Roberts and who?
Loyola, out of Chicago.
Okay.
They're
yeah.
Catholic, and they have beliefs that go against the mainstream, so you can't play here. So anyway,
and you wouldn't want to bring your grandparents up there anyway to see a game. You know what I'm saying?
Where?
In New York.
Oh, not if Governor Cuomo is in charge.
Well, I'm a Cuomo-sexual. No. But yeah, man, like that guy. What a freaking.
Let's
not even go on that. But anyway.
Well, I ran out to the mall to get an orange Julius.
Okay.
And I ran into a woman who hadn't been sexually assaulted by Cuomo.
All the way out here.
I got her autograph. She signed it on my chest. So.
Really? That's nice. That's nice.
It was shocking. I was like, really? Yeah. So anyway, let's do our picks.
Okay, so let's run down the bracket for those who don't know. And the top pick is Gonzaga against, and they're playing
Creighton.
And then we got USC versus Oregon. Michigan against Florida State.
Well, that's in the West. I think they're playing at a high school. Yeah, I can't keep it track. I know everything's within Indianapolis, but I can't tell who's playing where. Let's go regional by regional, okay?
Okay. So we're going to start with Gonzaga.
Yeah, they are the
best.
That's
the West. Okay.
That's the best team in America. I kind of picked them to win it all.
Okay.
Not because I think they're that great. I just like saying Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Isn't it fun to say?
It's like a topping on a pizza. You
know? Their nickname are the Zags. That's a great nickname. Yeah. Here's the behind the scenes thing.
You can't get canceled for having a Zaga, can you?
I don't think so.
Okay. What gender is that? But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Gonzaga, if they win it, will be the first undefeated national champion since Indiana in 1976. So for them to come to our state and pee on our cornflakes, that would piss me off.
I'm going to say right now that it's not going to happen.
I hope it doesn't.
It's not going to happen.
But I don't see anyone in that bracket beating them.
Well, they're going to come against what we know over here as Hoosiers is Michigan in the East eventually.
Okay.
And I'm thinking Michigan can do it.
All right, Michigan opens.
Big Ten basketball, boy. You remember that? You throw some elbows up here in the States.
Yeah, Big Ten. They're 1-14 in this tournament. It's not 1-14, but they have one team. They had 9 teams in the tournament. Yeah. They have 1 left. Michigan.
That ain't good, man. They got to
Purdue. Purdue choked.
Yes.
Choked.
So,
and Indiana didn't even make it.
So you're saying Gonzaga's your pick for the West?
Yes.
I'm going with you on that one, too. I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm just not seeing it. Maybe USC could pull it off.
They had a nice win to get here.
Against Kansas, which, yeah.
So I'm going to go Michigan. I think they're going to win.
Michigan in the East. So the Michigan teams are in the East. It's Michigan versus Florida State, UCLA versus Alabama.
Correct.
I think Michigan could pull it off too. Alabama could be tough. They're always tough. You know.
Well, UCLA, for you historians out there, John Wooden won 10 national championships at UCLA. I don't know the number. Where's John Wooden from?
Indiana?
Martinsville, Indiana.
Okay.
Played at Purdue. So maybe there's a little John Wooden thing going on there.
UCLA hasn't impressed me in a long time. They always get here, but they always fade out, man.
Yeah. But I'm going to go Gonzaga in the West, Michigan in the East.
Yep.
Let's go down to the South.
Go down to the South. Okay, so over here in the South, we got Baylor versus Villanova, Steve. Who's going to win that game?
Well, the coach of Baylor is Scott Drew.
Come on.
Where did he coach?
Wasn't that Valpo?
And they were called the Crusaders then.
Yeah. Oh, Steve, you're appalling. Come on.
Yeah, so Scott Drew there. My team to pick is in the lower bracket.
Which is Arkansas versus Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts is going to get it done. I'm just telling you.
Come on. I'm with Oral. I'm picking Oral Roberts out of the South.
Their guard and forward, and I should have wrote their names down. Those guys are tremendous ball players. Again, their head coach, he praised God.
Oh my gosh.
In the post game and said that their faith is bigger than who they are. It wasn't all this, look at me, I'm the greatest, I'm going to be a draft pick in the NBA.
Yeah.
None of that. They praised God. It's so refreshing. I'm going to go with Oral Roberts, Golden Eagles.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you, what's their mascot? The Golden
I actually
Eagles?
one of the...
I thought it was going to be a checkbook.
No, that was the old days.
That was the old Oral Roberts.
Yeah. I actually covered the 2 years I was covering VU, Valparaiso, when they were known as the Crusaders.
Oh my gosh.
But
what is this world coming to, Steve?
Crusaders.
Oh, stop.
But yeah, they were great games. It was kind of 1-2 in the conference, and I was impressed by Gold.
So far you got Gonzaga coming out of the West. You got Michigan, and you and I agree, and Michigan on the East. Our hope is for Oral Roberts.
Well, that's who I'm picking. Who you got?
I want Oral Roberts, but I actually think Villanova is going to come out of there.
No, Baylor will beat them.
You think so?
Yeah. That's just my call.
All right. Well, we're going to find out.
Then Midwest, I'm going with another.
Well, let me put the teams out there, Steve. Don't be in such a hurry. You ain't a roller coaster. It's a marathon. So we got Loyola Chicago. Hey. And then that sucks that they're on the same side. But anyway, or if they're playing Oregon State, is that the green?
No, that's Oregon.
That's Oregon. Okay.
They're orange and black, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And then we got Syracuse and Houston, and the number 2 seeds in that side. That would be Houston. Houston always blows it, bro.
Well, that was back in the day.
Houston blows
They
it.
choked.
But I'm talking about history and tradition here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Elijah Wan, I mean, he was one of the best basketball players I ever saw for a post. He couldn't win one.
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new era. I am going with Loyola.
I'm feeling some home spirit here, bro.
They pounded Illinois, top seed. Just pounded them. Only won by 12-13, but they dominated the game.
That's a big lead in this tournament. That's a huge lead.
Yeah. So, Sister Jean.
Can they continue to play at that level? Let's say is a Houston like you think a Houston is. Were they better than Illinois if you would have put Houston against Illinois?
That's why Illinois was the top seed.
So they have the potential. I'm going to go with them too then, dude. If they have that potential, I'm going to say why not?
The question is, are they going to allow Sister Jean to stay in Indianapolis all week, or will she have to go home?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
What a great story. I mean,
well, hit me with that story because I don't even know what you're talking about.
She's 101 years old.
Okay.
She's the team chaplain, right?
Okay. She pray for him before every game?
Yeah, they always have prayer.
Okay.
Which, again, wouldn't be allowed in Massachusetts
What
or
if they
California.
wheel her in there and she croaks right before the game? Like, what? Is that a sign?
No, but 4 years ago, Loyola made it to the Final Four, and she was there with them.
Okay.
Last week, she was first time all year she was allowed to be at the games. So, just a great side story.
Yeah, because of COVID. All right, I see.
Yeah, because of COVID.
So here's our picks. Yeah. Hey, did you hear that? Well, we'll move on there. But so we got Gonzaga, Michigan, Oral Roberts for Steve. I said Villanova, and we both agree that Loyola could do it. So who's your overall top pick? Because we're gonna get there, right?
I say we wait till next week.
Okay.
Because after this Sunday, Final Four will be set, and we can talk about that next week. But for those who have to stay, pizza at the gas station. Enjoy it.
You know it, man, and listen to some music and cover your behind. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Steve,
we
thank
did.
You for your, go ahead, man.
We both picked Michigan and wanted to talk a little bit
for sure
about Juwan Howard.
Oh my gosh.
Head coach at Michigan. I love this dude. He was on the Fab Five back in the 90s, and now he's the head coach at Michigan.
Absolutely.
What I'm about to say, I don't want it taken that I'm dogging him, because I'm not. But a couple weeks ago, it might have been the last time I was here, I kind of talked about LeBron James and how I wished he would say different things to the people from his community. I'm kind of going there with Juwan. A couple weeks ago at the Big Ten tournament semifinals, Juwan got into a argument with the assistant coach of Maryland. And after the game, he made some comments. Let's listen to those now.
Yeah, and we're going to give you the full comments until Steve tells us to come off.
Out of respect for everyone's time, and also during this situation here, I'm just going to say it one time. So please, write your notes. After this, let's talk about basketball. But at the end of the day, I want to first apologize to my team, which I did in the locker room, for my actions. That's not the way how you handle situations like that on adverse moments. You can't let your emotions get the best of you. So I love the fact that how our guys stepped up and supported their coach because they know I always want to support them, but I'm going to always take ownership when I'm wrong and admit when I'm wrong. So that's not the right way how to handle that situation. Now, my version is because there's going to always be so many versions. My version, his version, but at the end of the day, my version, I'm going to tell you the truth how it all happened. I noticed that Smith went for offensive rebound and it went off his hands last, but the referees called the ball out of bounds, and I think it was their possession. And so I was out of the coaching box, and I went down to explain exactly, it's off of Smith. And it's tough to communicate when it's loud, and also you have mask on. So Turd saw that out of the box. He telling the referee, look at my feet, I'm out of the box. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. This is what we're doing today. You're worried about my feet being out of the box. And so he said to me, Juwan, I'm not going to let you talk to me. You don't talk to me ever again. And he charged at me. And that right there, I don't know how you guys was raised, but, how I was raised, by my grandmother and also by Chicago, because I was raised by Chicago and I grew up in the South Side. When guys charge you, it's time to defend yourself. And especially when a grown man charges you. And that right there, I went into defense.
So we're going to stop it right there. Okay.
Okay.
So,
now here's the thing.
Those were the comments that sort of triggered you.
Well, it didn't trigger me till about 5 hours later when I saw in the news that someone went into a party on the south side of Chicago, shot 15 people. Okay? 3 or 4 died. It's hard to keep track of how many people are shot and killed in Chicago every weekend,
Yeah, for sure.
I am not saying this is Jawan's fault at all. My only thing I'd like to say to him, and again, I'm a huge fan, great basketball player. Obviously, he's a good coach. I believe this is his first year at Michigan, and here they are in the Sweet 16. He apologized for his actions. We all know in a basketball game, coaches, players get intense, get emotional, and these kind of things happen. But I applaud him for apologizing. Here's my only thing. When he says he was raised in Chicago, and if someone gets in his face, he's going to get in theirs. I think this kind of mindset is why there are so many shootings and killings in Chicago, because I think that's how a lot of young people feel.
They can't keep that on the court. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's if you get in my face, I'm getting in your face. If you kill someone in my group, I'm going to kill someone in your group. There was a time in this country where we taught our kids, no matter what neighborhood they grew up, to turn the other cheek, to walk away from violence. I don't know who's saying that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that is why this bloodshed continues. So again, I'm not saying, Jawan, it's on you, but I just ask you and all the players and coaches who have a spotlight, change what you're saying, change the verbiage. Please talk to the kids that there's another way to deal with confrontation other than taking a gun to a party.
So what do you think he should have said then? Because you and I know, I'm just pushing back a tad, just because I agree with everything you just said. However, you and I both know that we grew up in an era of hoops, which is an era he grew up, where what he said, if he didn't say what he just said, we would have called him a wuss. We would have said, like, that's the reason you don't win.
Well, right? 100 people weren't getting shot every weekend in Chicago when we were playing.
Is that true, or is that because
it's absolutely true.
Media wasn't the same back then? I think it was still happening.
Not to the numbers now. I mean, I don't have the pie chart in front of me.
Sure.
But the killings in urban areas are through the roof. You can look, the Republicans talk about it, but in inner cities, the homicides are up 10, 20, 25%.
They're worse like than in Afghanistan, no question.
Yeah.
No question.
So I'm like Jawan, just like I asked LeBron, please, guys, talk to this issue, okay?
Okay, so here's a guy that attacks the next coach, right? And he knows he's wrong, and he knows they're going to come after him because he got emotional and just lost it or whatever he did, right? So how do you handle that differently? I mean,
you say, I'm sorry, which he did, which was great. He apologized to his team. He apologized to everyone in that press conference. I think you end it there and then talk about the game. I don't think you talk about how you grew up in Chicago and that's how people dealt with confrontation.
So you're a journalist in that room.
I was, but go on.
Okay, I'm saying, hypothetically, you're a journalist in that room. Aren't you going to press that?
I think the media is at its lowest point in American history, so I don't know if anyone there was thinking along those terms. And maybe I'm nuts for thinking that. Honestly, I saw the clip.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it again until I heard about the shooting at a party, you know? What?
Well, I mean, you're right. You're right. It's such a weird world, man. Such a weird world.
We can't keep ignoring it. You know, our nation in the last 2 weeks, 2 shootings. You know, one in Atlanta, one in Boulder, Colorado.
So how did you feel about like Bobby Knight?
What's that got to do with?
Well,
what
here's
I'm
a guy
saying?
that would like take a chair and throw it across the thing in the middle, and nobody was like on him.
Oh, he was. Why do you think he's not coaching there now? They hated it.
Okay, I'm just
he
saying. He
won though, so he was allowed to get away with.
They weren't connecting that with what was happening, like in the parking lot, or with in the community. And is that a fair connection to you, or you're just saying because
I am commenting off what he said. I was raised in Chicago. Those are his words. Mm-hmm. Okay, if he had not said that, I probably wouldn't have drawn a connection. But he said in Chicago, when someone gets in your face, you get in theirs. I am only commenting off what he said. Okay?
I hear you.
And again, his words did not cause that to happen at that party that night in Chicago.
So you're talking about the mentality of Chicago overall.
That's the connection I'm drawing.
Okay.
I mean, you hear about it on the news. One gang, somebody gets killed. The next night, they go after somebody in another gang.
Oh.
What I'm asking and begging, please, people, turn the other cheek. Walk away from confrontation. Live your life.
I agree, man.
That's all I'm saying.
No, and my pushback is because there is a certain group of people that would say what I'm saying, which is like, you can't connect this and turn the channel. And I don't think you're saying watch, like, let's police our talk. You're saying, like, we have a responsibility as a leader to be aware of your words. Your words have power. This is something Trump never understood.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's really true. Like, I don't believe that his words caused that thing, but the stoke of that culture, the stoke of the culture, you know, like, it was gasoline on fire. You know what I'm saying? He didn't cause the fire. He just poured gasoline on it. And not to go there.
Or backed it up.
Yeah. And it's exactly what you're saying, too. So as leaders, we have to be aware. Words have meaning. They have weight.
I think I would have remembered it. I don't ever recall LeBron at a press conference telling the black communities to stop killing each other.
No.
I'm sure he wants that. Now when the black person was shot by a police officer, he was all over that.
Of course.
I just wish these leaders in the black community would talk to stop. Just please stop killing each other. Because it breaks my heart every Monday morning when WGN News puts up the tallies for the weekend. It just, the number of lives destroyed by this this violence is just so sad. And again, just to be clear, I'm not saying Coach Howard caused
it's sort of a good, I mean, we weren't planning on this, but like here we're right next to Chicago. We see and hear about the violence, and there's probably a ton we don't see and hear about, right? And then we have this week a shooting in Colorado.
2 in a week.
Yeah, like, so just so you know, like one of the guys that is an owner of the store we are at, he was out there. And that he was at that store the week before he knew the cop that got killed. And so here comes the whole gun. You know, as soon as we hear this, it's, you know, we get the gun issue out there again. And we live by a place where those laws don't work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's a very complicated issue.
Totally.
But I've watched a couple Republican senators, congressmen, arguing that an AR-15 isn't a gun, a military gun.
Which it's not. They don't use it in the military.
Okay. If that's what you're hanging your hat on, you're going to lose this debate every time. Now, I'm not in favor of, who's the idiot from Texas?
Ted Cruz?
No, the Democrat that ran for president. He's
what's his name? Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah. Now, he's claiming he's going to come into people's homes and take their guns. That's not the answer either.
No.
But I've seen it like 3 times in the last couple of days. Well, that's not a... If you can walk into a grocery store and kill 10 people in 30 seconds, it may not be a gun used, but does that need to be on the street? We have to stop arguing.
You can do that with almost any gun.
Okay. So you should get a job at Fox News because this has to stop.
Get a job at, I could say, why don't you just get a job at CNN?
Well, I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying, I'm not. So the issue really isn't the gun itself, is it?
Well, obviously, the person who have it in their hands, that's where it starts. But I heard somebody give a very reasonable thing, a 10-day waiting period before you can get a gun like this. And I heard a Republican saying that's insane.
Well, there's already a waiting period. This is the problem with this issue. Nobody's educated on it. And there's already a waiting period. There's already background checks.
It's not 10 days, though. You can walk, because that guy
longer.
That guy walked in. The guy in Boulder walked in and got it that day. So
is that what they said?
It
could be a state issue there. I don't know. But I mean, for the most part, there's those things. Those things are in place. And I'm not saying AR-15 should be the main thing in your house. I don't think that's really the issue. The issue is we politicize something that. Well, I mean, let's take the Chicago for they've got every rule you can possibly hand, and it doesn't help one bit.
And
so there's a multicultural facet to this issue that needs to be addressed, and maybe guns are part of that. But I don't think it's the main issue. I don't think no sane person is just walking out there like, hey, you know what I'll do today? Go into his grocery.
Well, when Joe Biden trips down the stairs on the airplane, Air Force One, and his first thing is we need more gun laws. Look at Chicago. Their gun laws are about as thick as their phone book.
Yep.
And how many guns are on the street? How are you going to stop this? You can't stop it without changing people's hearts and minds. And the people in favor of gun control, and listen, I hate guns. I wish we lived in a world where we didn't need them. We don't, but I wish we did. I just think that changing people's hearts and minds, I love how left-wing Hollywood is. And look at the movies they put out where just people are massacred, and then there's a funny line by Arnold Schwarzenegger or whoever else. Mm-hmm. We've mocked the pain and
people. Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's heartbreaking, and as long as we're screaming at each other across the aisle, it's never going to change.
No, and that's another issue of this issue, I think, because on one hand, you have these kind of massacres, but if you look at the statistics for these kind of massacres, by the way, which is a massacre is considered something 4 and up, 4 people killed and up, it could be including that guy, the gunner, right? But the reason that statistic is there is it's political as well. Because if they brought it down, then you'd have to include Chicago gang violence. You get what I'm saying? So, and they don't want to do that because then that brings in a whole dimension of race, gender, this kind of stuff. Also, like you read in this story out of Colorado, did you know, I'll bet you didn't know this, I just found this out, that store had a kosher deli. And this guy was a Muslim. And so, they don't want to, who they're portraying as a white man in the media, they're portraying him as a white man in the media to say that all white men do these kind of things. It's not really people of color.
There were also a bunch of people there to get their COVID vaccines.
Yeah.
there was a long line. Reportedly, was this some guy who hated? I don't know.
It's definitely a young, mentally ill Muslim man who shouldn't have had a gun. We can all agree on that. And
well, if we had
but the gun issue really isn't for these massacres. The gun issue is for the thing in Chicago. I think there's 100 people died from massacres last year, which is 100 too many. We all agree on that. But how many people are dying a week or a month? 100 more than 100, over there. And I'm not just picking on Chicago. It could be L.A. It could be all these other places. So these. I mean, you're right in the idea that everybody has a gun, and I think when we tell people we're going to take away the guns, their response is to go buy 2 more.
Yeah,
in America.
Absolutely.
And so,
and this is something some in Washington D.C. don't care about. In our Constitution is the Second Amendment. So the government cannot come and take someone's gun.
Exactly.
And the vast majority of gun owners are safe, honest people. Okay?
A statistic you will never hear in the news.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's way over 95%.
Absolutely.
And they keep them for safety. And if you look around the world right now, people that have guns are probably going to be a little more safe than those who don't. And
well, there's actually statistics the opposite. The people that don't have the means to defend themselves. I mean, it's a tough issue, man, and I don't think you can fix crazy, and you can't fix. I mean, some of the national issues are fatherlessness, family issues that are deep, and you're more prone to go a direction where you might use these things to hurt somebody as a means to defend yourself, but.
Lack of faith, too.
I think that's the main issue.
A faith that tells you that you're no better than someone else and that we should love other people. And there is right and there is a right and there is a wrong, which we're being told by everyone in our government that you get to pick what's right and wrong.
Well, I'm on that issue right there, if I can, because that's a great issue, Steve. Like, when I got off campus as a campus pastor, what I found to be the root of many things that are happening in society is the issue you just spoke of. You take God out of everything, and there is no right or wrong but what society says. And then you're ruled.
It's not even society. It's each individual.
Or who's
they
in
get
power.
to pick.
Yeah, well, yes, that's definitely postmodernism.
We're telling our kids in school they're their own gods. They can decide what's right and wrong.
Yep.
Which will destroy a society, guaranteed.
Absolutely, because it's trending into sexuality, it's trending into family life, it's trending into cultural things within a community, and like freedom is freedom. But even think about let's take it something stupid like partying back when you're in high school and you shouldn't have. There were certain lines, like say as a basketball player. I didn't go past. I might have had that beer, but I didn't go past certain lines because there were consequence. To just erase the lines and say, well, you decide what that line is, that's not really freedom. That's really a path towards slavery, a bondage towards that thing, or a dependency on something. And I think we got to get this Judeo-Christian speak back into the language of our history, of our society. We need to fill these churches up, even if it's just for the benefit of our kids, and we need responsibility coming from these institutions.
Absolutely. Well, I remember last year, one night in Chicago, Michigan Avenue was just destroyed. Millions of dollars of things stolen, right?
Yeah.
The next day, there was a leader of the Black Lives Matter, and she said, this is reparations. Actually, it's theft, okay? Well, it is. Just breaking into a window and coming out with 100 pairs of Nikes, that's theft. And the fact that these kids that were doing it, and I'm sure that they weren't rich. So I'm sure, hey, let's go get something when they don't have a lot. I understand that. But the fact that they get to make the decision that this isn't theft, this is me getting mine.
Yep.
Again, we used to tell our kids there's right and wrong, and we need to turn the other cheek, walk away. We don't tell them that anymore, and society is on fire right now because of it.
Absolutely. I don't know how people don't see it. Well, dude, thank you for your commentary on all that stuff. Let's keep it moving because we're running a little later today. Let's go to our next segment. You cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about this douche of the week.
I'm giving it to the NCAA.
I know you wanted to get there, and we're going to go there right now. Let's go to our douche of the week
segment.
The
NCAA, while John does his thing, is another national organization in education that has more money than they could ever hope to have. They lecture us all the time about what's right and what's wrong, and maybe a third of what they say makes any sense. They're going to be lecturing us about other things in the future that are even more insane. But when you really take out the magnifying glass and look at what they're doing, they're just as corrupt as anything else. They're Neanderthals.
Yeah. Now you know this personally because you've had to deal with.
Can we get some banjos?
Story. Are we going to be doing this again?
While we're talking.
Well, we're going to bring up. Well, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Only because we're going to bring up that girl that you wanted to bring up that showed some of the things you're talking about. But you've personally dealt with the NCAA and written about these
issues.
Their commentaries on life that they're demanding out of these schools. Now, recently, I think it was a governor from Oregon has been fighting with them about males and females in basketball and stuff like that.
Well, actually,
is this all one? And they're saying she was saying using the word bully. Is that true? Does the NCAA bully their people into doing? I mean, how is the connection there? How can the NCAA bully a school?
Well, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't question us. That's the biggest problem in America. If you are in charge and power, no one can question you. And our media is so one-sided, they won't take the side of somebody who has a good argument against what those in power are saying. But it came out last week. The men's basketball tournament is in Indiana.
Yep.
The women's is in Texas, San Antonio area. Let's listen to this young lady, a basketball player from Oregon.
Okay. And hopefully this is going to work because I'm going to turn it up really loud. Give me a second. Here she is. What school is she from, Steve?
From Oregon.
Okay, I'm going to turn her words up really, really loud, and let's see what she has to say. Hopefully.
I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room.
Slight difference.
Now, when pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's, the NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem. Let me show y'all something else. Here's our practice court, right? And then here's that weight room. And then here's all this extra space. If you aren't upset about this problem, then you're a part of it.
Okay, let me shut that down.
So for the
all right, so here it is.
Do we have a picture of the men's weight room? Yeah, she showed it.
Yeah, I think I have it on here, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. There it is. There's the comparison.
Let's see. You need a telescope to see the end of it. You have like 9 security guards. Look at that place. It's plush. And then, the women get 2 dumbbells because of the dumbbells leading the NCAA. I mean, come on. So wrong.
Now, where is the women's? Is it in Indiana?
No, San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. So you have a problem with it. And I told Steve before the show, I'm going to push back a little bit here.
Bring it on.
All right. So I used to have this conversation. Do you remember, when the ladies' soccer was big in the Olympics and stuff
Still
like
is.
that?
Okay. It's very big.
Okay. And they were complaining about some of this stuff. But here is the truth. I'm going to bring the truth, Steve. You bring your opinion as a ex-journalist who's part of the media. All right.
There's a reason I left. Go on.
Anyway, so guys make millions upon millions upon millions upon millions dollars more in sports than girls. Now, that by nature...
Not in college, but go on.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They don't make a dime.
No, I'm talking the schools off of this. The guys bring the money in. The girls just don't. That doesn't mean they're not rooted for, they're not good players, and they don't deserve a bench or something like that. Now, that might be an extreme example there. But the fact of the matter is the guys are going to get a higher facility because of that in itself.
That's not what Title IX says, which is federal law. Has to be the same.
All right, now, okay, go ahead.
That's it?
Okay, what is same? So now we're in an equity versus equality argument, which is, for those who doesn't know, equality would be we have a basketball court and everybody gets to play it. Equity would be everything has to be the same, including the outcome. In other words, it's tit for tat. The guy has a great weight bench. The girls have a great weight bench.
It should be the same. Same opportunity.
Could be, but not every school can afford that.
Well,
right?
This isn't a school. This is the NCAA, who will make almost $1 billion on the NCAA tournament.
Nope.
They don't have a couple grand to, Also, the food the women are getting sucks.
I think we have a pic. I don't know if we have a pic. Go ahead, talk about that.
The guys are eating, at Shula Steakhouse in Indianapolis, and the girls are getting a pizza roll from the gas station. I mean, it's nonsense. And again, it's the NCAA who lectures us about right and wrong. That's what pisses me off. That's why they're the douche of the week.
So the broader issue is this happening on a regular basis on each school. Because do you get what I'm saying? Like you go to I was at Butler, great facilities, great basketball court, great all this stuff, but it wasn't the same. It was not the same.
The women played at Hinkle Fieldhouse. It is the same.
The practice fields weren't the same. The scheduling wasn't the same. The crowds weren't the same.
Well, the crowds is a different issue. I guarantee you.
How is the crowds a different issue?
Well, because
this is a money thing. This is all about money.
Yeah. But you brought up the women's soccer team. They've outdrew the men because the women's soccer team is good. The men suck in the United States. So more people go to the women's games than the men. Okay?
But that's not the issue.
Well, it is because they get paid less. The women get less money than the men.
But this guys still make more money.
Because the system's set up that way. Okay? And by the way, turn it on in 2 weeks, the women's Final Four, there won't, depending on the COVID, hold on. Depending on the rules in Texas, it'll be the women's Final Four. I've been watching that for years. It's packed. It's packed. The first rounds suck.
Yeah.
Because, and this has been my beef, the top 10, 12 teams in the women's tournament are unbelievably good and you never see an Oral Roberts and the women's team make a run because the top teams are so far ahead of the mid-majors. Mm-hmm. So that's just kind of the way it is. There's nothing you can do about that. If you're a mid-major, you got to get the talent there to compete with the top teams.
So you're saying in a roundabout way the competition is not as good as the guys?
No, because that's a bullshit statement.
Not really, but
yeah, it absolutely is.
No, it's not.
It is. It's just like UConn, all right? One of all the best players either go there, Stanford. They go to the top teams. Where you look at Oral Roberts' team, the nation's leading scorer for men went there. You don't get that on the women's side very often. That's just the way the system is. That's another topic.
We'll have to hit that.
The bottom line, though, is...
I get what you're saying. So you think it all should be the same, and there's no reason there shouldn't be the same?
We can watch that tweet again. You tell me how that's even close to being the same. It's not.
Right.
And
okay.
It's not right. So the NCAA, you are my douche of the week.
He's a douche of the week. There
Don't
it is.
preach to us anymore and play your banjo on your high horse.
There it is, boys and girls. Well, hey, everyone, we are going to let you go.
Are we going to do a 10-second scream?
I guess we have time for it. We got to, I guess, we got to get it in, though. Let's do it then. Okay, 10-second scream, Stevie. What do we got this week?
Well, there he is.
All right, 10-second screen is 4.
It wasn't even 10.
I know, but I can't even.
Yeah, we got this done before Mr. Biden's first press conference of his tenure in charge.
He got more vaccinations out than he did words this month.
Yeah, I will say this. He's done a better job with getting vaccinations going. I will just say that. It's running smooth. I got my first one. I know everyone thinks I'm a denier. I'm not. I got my vaccine on Sunday. It ran very smoothly. Trump just had press conferences, which is the opposite of Biden. Look at him, boy. I
totally 100% disagree with that. I don't think Biden has anything to do with it. I think states have taken control. Trump put the procedures in place. Biden, they were doing 1 million vaccinations a day. You add 100 days. When he came in and said, I'm going to get 100 million in 100 days, they were already going to happen, and they were already starting to double. So I don't agree with that at all. And
I'm just saying, since he's been president, it has been more people have gotten it, and it's been much smoother. That's all. Am I saying he doesn't even know what day it is, so I don't think he had any. He's tripping up and down the stairs.
The stairs, which is really hard to do.
But, I can't wait till today's press conference when a reporter says, "You've got a great pair, Mr. President."
You know that the questions have been pre-screened, right?
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Yeah. He will not have a response to a question longer than 2 sentences. Guaranteed.
I want to know, like when they show him, how far from the left or the right is his wife talking into his collar? Hello. Yes. All right, Joe. Walk away from the mic. Walk away from the mic.
She's
Joe.
a doctor.
I know.
Oh, wait, a doctor of education.
Well, hey, dude, it's been great to see you back. I'm glad you got your sense of humor, and thank you for all this commentary, Stevie. And guys, we want to say go and subscribe. You can get on Podbean app on any of your phones and subscribe to us on audio, which will be out tomorrow, Friday. And then also go to our Facebook and YouTube and check out our website at TalkdaTalk. My name is John, and this is my homeboy,
Steve. Mary, I love you, and I miss you.
Come on. We'll catch you guys later. We'll see you later.